Hello, this is Professor Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department at FIT, continuing our tutorial for the Maurice ring, working on the cleat for JD237. As I was saying, I'm just going to offset this 2.5 millimeters on both sides to give me that overall width. And then a simple loft should do to surface that. Check the directionality of my surface, vertical, or should I say lengthwise, widthwise. Okay, I need to swap the UV direction here. Analyze direction, swap UV, confirm now. Yeah, now it's width and width versus length. Okay, rebuild this to match. Those numbers are still in place from the last time I rebuilt. And make it the same colored surface. And that should be everything I need for this flow kit. Okay. I really shouldn't need those anymore. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and draw my sections for my flutes. To do that, I'm going to first divide the edge of this into 3. So go to my points button, which is on the transform tab, for reasons I've never really understood. Cascade that, right click on divide curve to get the divide curve by number. Asking for a curve to divide, select the surface edge and type in under number of segments 3. Going to use our same command we've been using to draw that section. Just to arc start end direction. Make sure planar is turned on. Make sure you're working with your front C-plane so you can do a vertical section. I will call it that for starters. Going to move that down into position because it needs to be beneath the flow surface. So from quadrant to mid should be good. Move from quadrant to mid. Okay, don't need these points anymore. Just going to do a simple extrusion to create my flute with history. Only one side, so turn both sides off if it's on, to the end of the flow surface. Going into my top C-plane, I'm going to make sure that my history worked, and it does. Going to now record history and make copies. And again. Going to grab the 3 of these and record history and flow them along that surface. Turn off the flow kit and take a look and see how this is relating to what I want. Well, there's plenty of surface up above here. I could make them deeper if I wanted, but I think that's okay. So what I am going to do is move this front section. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Have those snug up on my piece a bit. Don't want to do too much. That may be a little much. Let me see. Actually, where they're at is probably good. Okay, not bad. Alright, so I have that in place. I can mirror it over. And that starts to give me an idea of what I'm going to be dealing with. Did not want to move those. I'm going to copy those to clipboard, group them, put them into storage, paste back in some non-history based ones, and join those together, just so I can have them. But as I was saying earlier, I believe that to surface these, I'm really going to need to surface each one independently. And to do that, I'm going to, I don't need those actually mirrored over anymore. I'm going to take each one of these and break it down. Okay, so I'm going to extract an isocurve, mid-snap. I'm going to extract an edge or a border. Here we go. I'm going to extract another isocurve at mid, but in the different direction. And I know I'm going to have trouble as this comes up and around here. So I'm going to give myself additional cross sections, 2 of them, by extracting an isocurve here. And another one, let's say here. Just so I have something that goes around that corner. I'm going to mirror those sections over. Turn those off. And you'll see that what I have given myself is a network that I can use to modify or create a surface. I'm going to explode that into 4 surfaces, 4 curves. So I can basically replicate that surface right now by just doing a surface from network of curves. That should give me something very similar to what I already had. Okay? It's going to be very helpful though, because I'm going to want to change things a little bit. And to be able to change things is going to be nice. So, looking at this, not really fond with the roll-off here up on top. So, first thing I'm going to do is bring back my big block. Hope I didn't lose it. Nope, it's still here. I'm going to set a C-plane to this top face. Actually, no, I don't want it there. I need a C-plane to draw this curve on. The challenge with that is going to be that this is probably not a planar curve. This probably has issues. So I'm going to create a curve that comes close to it. Line, both sides, end and mid, project. And by doing that, I'll grab this end and the midpoint. And that gives me a nice straight curve. I'm going to move that along its length a little bit using near snap, like a trombone slide, just so that I have it really completely capturing that area. Okay, and then I can do an extrusion. In the interest of efficiency, I'm going to show you another way to do the same thing. End and mid again, project still on, surface tools, cutting plane, select object for cutting plane, enter when done, start cutting plane, end, mid. And that'll give you a surface that bisects and is planar, which is what we're after. Okay. Now we have a problem. We're running out of layers. Group these together. Storage. Storage. Still need those. Group these all together. And storage curves. Group these together. Storage curves. Group these together. It's the flow kit for the center. Storage objects. Okay, now I have room to work again. Actually, group storage curves, in case I need it again. Now I can have the luxury of putting that on a new layer. Of course, I use the one layer I don't have access to. There we go. Okay, just tidying my file, that's all. I'm going to set my C-plane to this. And now I can put that into storage. Or actually, I'll hide it. I may need it sooner than that. I'll just hide it. Okay, so now I have this curve on this C-plane. If it's not, I'll project it right now. C enter, Y enter, so I know it's planar. Not sure what points count it has. It's got 67. That's a lot of points. So I'm going to try it with 25. That's pretty good. Okay. I am going to split it, trim it, so I can just work from 1/2. Turn on the control points. Don't need that point. And I'm going to do what we've talked about this several times, where I move the point over, then slide it back. Move the point over, slide it back. Move the point over, slide it back. This guarantees me that I have a straightness through here that I want. Now I'm going to turn on my curvature graph. Going to do that same thing here. Well, actually, no. I'll just move points carefully. Okay, I like that. I'm going to mirror this over. Since I have the C-plane set to that cutting plane I made, 0 is now in the middle, so that worked very nicely. Join them together. I don't have to rebuild it because I'm going to use the surface from curve network command, which can only give me a single surface no matter what. This cross section isn't going to work anymore, neither is this one. They don't intersect the curves properly. That's all right. Grab this cutting plane, and mid. hang on, that didn't do what I expected it to do. So, again, cutting plane, project to C-plane. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Well, that will have to be good. So, that meant I had some twisting going on in that section, so I wanted to fix that anyway. I'm going to grab this cutting plane and my 3 rails, do an intersect, deselect the ones I want to keep so I can just hit delete to throw those away, throw the surface away. Actually, I don't want to throw the surface away just yet. I want to set a C-plane to it. Now I'll throw it away. And I'll draw a arc. This time I'm going to do an arc. Start, end, and point on arc. Use point snap. That's my new cross section. Throw away the old one. Get rid of these points for now. Okay. I want to go back to that C-plane I had before, so I'm going to Control-Shift-H to unhide. Grab that, set a C-plane to it, hide it again. I'm going to do the same process here. Cutting plane, end, mid with project turned on. There's end, there's mid. Just want the 3 rails in this for a section or intersection. Set a C-plane to that before I throw it away. And do my 3-pointed arc. Point snap. Beginning, end, and point on the middle. There we go. I can throw away those points now. Done. Going to go back to my top C-plane now. So I know I've revised those 2 sections as well as the outer rail. I'm going to mirror those over. Oops. And do a surface from curved network to see what I have. That is a more attractive surface. Than this one was. Okay, so I have that. The only thing that's missing is that I want it to fill it over on this side. That's easy for me to create. Don't want to project anymore. End to end. And then I'm going to do a planar surface. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, it's not liking it. So, find out why. Okay, I can already see what my problem is. This has crept off of that surface. So I'm going to go back It's going to be problematic though because it let's see how much of a difference it makes before I do that. If I project that to C-plane, okay, it really does affect just these. What are the points on those? Not bad. I'm going to grab the end point here, project it to C-plane as well. Same thing with these. Turn on the points, grab the ends. Okay, this one's a problem. I'm going to project it to C-plane as well. It's going to create something unusual right there. So I'm going to actually delete that point. See what I get. Throw away the surface. And reflow. I shouldn't say flow. Resweep. Rail, rail, rail. Section, section, section. Section, section, section. Still looks good. This one overflows it a little bit on the edge, but that's because it was a little inaccurate. So that's fine. Now I'm going to try and make that planar surface. Okay. It's a closed curve. There we go. There's that planar surface I was looking for. Solid union, not union, sorry, join. I'm thinking one thing and my mouth's doing another. And I'm going to fillet the edge of this. I'm going to start with a 1 and see what happens. You can actually see what it's going to look like because it'll actually give you a radius. I can see that that's really big. That's not going to work. I'm going to check the distance from here to here, from the width of this at the bottom. It's 1.5. So the most I'm going to be able to do is like half a millimeter. So fillet edge, 0.5. Okay, a little irregular in the surface lines. Let's see how it looks emapped. That looks good. So I don't mind that slight irregularity in the surfacing. And it bites into that quite nicely. Okay, so there's my first flute. I need to stop the video here. Actually, I will pause it and hope to pick it up later. No? Actually, I'm going to stop. I'm going to be stepping away. I don't want to lose it. So thanks for watching, and I'll pick it up with a fresh video a little later.